Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Before us lies the Lenovo ThinkPad X230. Released in 2012, this machine is now 14 years old. In the tech world, that makes it practically prehistoric. By 2026, most people would regard it as an antique. Yet to many enthusiasts, the ThinkPad X230 remains the last truly ultra-portable ThinkPad, still commanding a devoted following to this day. Today we shall perform a demon exorcism on this legendary product. For in my view, the ThinkPad X230 is a high-performance terminal. But to truly unleash its capabilities, we require not an ordinary Linux distribution, but CachyOS version 2.5.11.29. Why CachyOS? CachyOS isn't merely Arch Linux with a new skin. It's built with optimizations for x86 64 v3 and v4, employs the Bohr scheduler, and utilizes a custom kernel engineered for low latency. On Ivy Bridge E5 or i7 processors, every CPU cycle counts. Today I shall demonstrate the entire process, from preparation to actual use, of CachyOS 2.11.29 on this ThinkPad X230. Our test platform configuration comprises an Intel Core i5-3320M processor, 8 GB of memory, and a SATA solid-state drive. This is a genuine device, genuine configuration, genuine usage. This is a complete, practical installation process demonstration. So if you favor lightweight Linux, older hardware, classic ThinkPad series, and slow, detailed explanations, you've come to the right place. Before commencing the installation, let us ensure all necessary items are at hand. Consider this our pre-flight checklist. First, your ThinkPad X230. Ensure it is fully charged, or ideally remain plugged into the mains throughout the process. Second, a USB drive with at least 8 GB capacity. This will serve as our installation medium. Third, a reliable internet connection. We require this to download the CachyOS ISO file. Fourth, download the ISO and create a bootable USB on another computer. Finally, if your ThinkPad X230 hard drive contains any important data, back it up immediately. Once you have all these items ready, we can proceed to the next step. Our first step is to obtain the CachyOS ISO file. This step requires a fully functional computer with an internet connection. Open your web browser, search for CachyOS on Google, and visit the official CachyOS website. On the CachyOS official website, click Download. You will see multiple versions of CachyOS available. For this task, we need to locate the desktop edition. Click Download Desktop Edition. Several download channels are provided here. Please select the one most suitable for you. The CachyOS ISO file size is approximately 2.8 GB, so please be patient while it downloads. During the download process, we need to prepare a tool to write the CachyOS ISO file to a USB drive, making it bootable. I have chosen Balena Etcher. It is cross-platform, free, and extremely easy to use. Please download and install Etcher on your current computer. After downloading the CachyOS ISO file and installing Etcher, insert your USB drive. Open Etcher, select the downloaded CachyOS ISO file, then choose your USB drive as the target drive. Please double-check that you have selected the correct drive. Choosing the wrong one may erase important data on other drives. Click Flash and let Etcher work its magic. This process may take several minutes depending on the speed of your USB drive. Upon completion, you will receive a confirmation message. Do not format the USB drive afterwards, simply eject it safely. Once the bootable USB is ready, we insert it into the ThinkPad X230. Switch on the ThinkPad X230 and immediately press the F1 key repeatedly to enter the BIOS utility settings. Step 1. Within the BIOS, navigate to the Restart section. Set OS Optimized Defaults to Enabled. Step 2. Press the F9 key to restore default settings. Step 3. Navigate to Security and enter Secure Boot. Set Secure Boot to Disabled. Step 4. Press F10 to save and exit. The ThinkPad X230 will now restart. When the Lenovo boot screen reappears, press F12 to enter the boot menu. Within the boot menu, select to boot from USB HDD and press Enter to confirm. We have now reached the CachyOS 2.5.11.29 Live ISO boot menu. The CachyOS Live ISO boot menu offers numerous options, but for achieving a smooth standard installation on older hardware, the default selection is typically optimal. Therefore, the first option, CachyOS, is the one we require. Select it and press Enter to confirm. Your ThinkPad X230 laptop will now load the fully functional CachyOS live desktop environment directly from your USB drive without accessing your internal hard drive. Even on older hardware like the ThinkPad X230, CachyOS loads quite swiftly. It took approximately 1.5 minutes before we entered CachyOS's attractive live desktop. The live desktop environment of KachyOS is truly excellent, allowing you to test whether all hardware on your ThinkPad X230 functions correctly. This includes components such as Wi-Fi, audio, touchpad, keyboard, and USB ports. It provides an opportunity to identify any compatibility issues before proceeding with installation. You may access existing drives within the live environment. Should you have not yet cleared your data, you may copy any required files, though you should have already backed them up. Within KachyOS's live desktop environment, you may also test or trial the operating system's various features. This ensures KachyOS is compatible with your ThinkPad X230's hardware prior to installation. If all tests proceed without issue, we may proceed with the installation. Upon the KachyOS live desktop, you shall observe the KachyOS welcome screen. Locate the Launch Installer option within the installation section of this page. Engage this to initiate the installation process, whereupon a window shall appear. This prompts selection of the bootloader edition. Here, I have chosen Grub. Thereafter, the KachyOS installer shall commence. KachyOS typically employs a customized Calamares installer. This graphical installer is straightforward and highly user-friendly, guiding you step by step through the entire installation process. Step 1. Set your preferred language. Typically, your preferred language is set by default. You may view and select other languages by clicking the drop-down menu. Here, I have selected American English. Click Next to proceed. Step 2. Localization settings. Tap your location on the map or enter your city. This will set your location and time zone, ensuring your clock remains accurate. Click Next to proceed. Step 3. Set your keyboard layout. You may also test your keyboard layout in the provided text box. Click Continue to proceed. Step 4. Configure the installation type, which is the most critical step. For most users, particularly if this is your sole operating system or you can erase everything on the ThinkPad X230 hard drive, select Erase Disk. This is the simplest option and is strongly recommended for most users installing KachyOS as the sole operating system on a ThinkPad X230. It will erase your entire hard drive and automatically create the necessary partitions. If you select this option, ensure you have backed up your data. For the disk partition format, I use the default Betreffs format. Step 5. Desktop environment selection. KachyOS offers nearly 20 options for selection, including No Desktop, Plasma Desktop, Genome, Xisa4, Beespoon, Budgie, Cinnamon, Cosmic, i3 Window Manager, Hyprian, Neri, LXDE, LXQT, Mate, OpenBox, Tile, Sway, UKUI, and Wayfire. Here, I've selected Plasma Desktop. You might find it memory intensive, but thanks to KachyOS optimization, it consumes less than 800 MB of RAM when idle. Step 6. Configure additional packages. Here I employed the system's default configuration. Click Next to proceed. Step 7. Create your user account. Enter your full name, username, computer name, and password. I also ticked the box for use the same password for the administrator account. Ensure you remember this password, as it will be required for future system logins and administrative operations. Step 8. Review your selection summary. Here you can see the changes and settings we've made since launching the installer, including the partitions, regional settings, and user information the system will configure. If everything appears correct, click Install. At this point, the installer will prompt you to confirm changes to your disk. Read the warnings carefully and only click Install Now when absolutely certain. Step 9. The system installation commences. During this period, KachyOS will install the base system, desktop environment, KachyOS optimization packages, and configure all components. KachyOS utilizes the Ximod kernel, which is precompiled and extensively optimized for hardware such as the ThinkPad X230 to achieve superior responsiveness. On this ThinkPad X230 laptop, the installation of KachyOS actually took less than 11.5 minutes. During this time, you will observe a progress bar alongside KachyOS promotional slides. Step 10. Complete the installation. KachyOS is now installed on our computer. We may either choose to restart into the new system or continue using the KachyOS Lev environment. Now, tick Restart Now and click Done. The system will reboot to apply the newly installed operating system. During the restart, once the screen goes black, it is absolutely essential that you remove the USB installation media. This prevents your ThinkPad X230 from attempting to boot from the USB again. As the Lenovo boot screen reappears, this ThinkPad X230 approaches our pivotal moment. We observe the CachyOS GR boot menu counting down, preparing to guide us into the freshly installed CachyOS. The elegant login interface comes into view. We enter our password and press enter to confirm, and boom, we're in. Boot successful. Blimey, that was quick. No error messages. No delays. Everything looks clean. Reaching the desktop after reboot took approximately 20 seconds. CachyOS boots significantly faster than any commercial operating system achieved on this 2012 hardware. Naturally, you can fully appreciate its fluidity through the display too. In the coming days, I intend to explore CachyOS while discussing why I chose to install and run KDE Plasma's CachyOS system on my ThinkPad X230. Indeed, I've installed the most radical and powerful Linux distribution of 2026, CachyOS, on a 14-year-old relic of a laptop. It feels rather like fitting a Tesla motor into a 1990s Volvo. If you've followed this channel for a while, you'll know I own several different ThinkPad models. I've a particular fondness for the classic ThinkPads. These machines possess a timeless charm. The ThinkPad X230 occupies a rather interesting point in ThinkPad's evolutionary history. It's sufficiently modern to remain practical even in 2026, yet it remains quintessentially classic, embodying what many regard as the golden age of ThinkPad design. So, let's discuss the machine itself. The ThinkPad X230 launched around 2012. It typically featured an Intel Core A5 or a 7 Ivy Bridge processor, Intel HD 4000 graphics, and supported up to 16 GB of DDR3 memory. For a 12.5-inch laptop, this represented quite respectable hardware specifications at the time. Yet what truly defines the ThinkPad X230 isn't its CPU or memory, but its design philosophy. While the keyboard adopted a new layout differing from the classic 7-row design, it remained thoroughly practical. The pointing stick, positioned squarely at the keyboard's center, constantly reminded us this machine was built for work, not for show. When I picked up this laptop, it felt less like a disposable item and more like a tool, one that could accompany me for years to come. And that's precisely where Linux comes into its own. Now, you might ask why choose CachyOS. CachyOS is typically associated with high performance, an optimized kernel, and maximizing the responsiveness of modern hardware. So why install it on a 14-year-old laptop? The answer is simple. CachyOS respects users, empowers them with control, and delivers outstanding performance where it matters most: responsiveness, low latency, and efficiency. For aging hardware like the X230, these qualities matter far more than mere benchmark figures. CachyOS is built upon the Arch architecture, meaning it undergoes continuous refinement with ongoing software updates, though this does entail a somewhat steeper learning curve. Yet it also offers sensible default configurations. You won't be starting from scratch, but rather from a meticulously tuned system. So, after installation, did it meet my expectations? After all, installing Linux isn't merely a matter of clicking buttons. It requires you to understand your machine. Old hardware teaches us patience. You might find it boots slowly and installs slowly. But that's all right. It's not a race. As you can see, once the installation finished, I rebooted the system. The ThinkPad logo appeared again, followed by the bootloader, then KDE Plasma launched. The desktop is clean, animations smooth. On the 12.5-inch screen, KDE Plasma proves surprisingly comfortable to use. I opened system settings to check memory usage and CPU load. Everything appears normal. This setup handles everyday tasks admirably. CachyOS breathes new life into old machines. It doesn't pretend they're new, it respects their limitations. Frankly, the ThinkPad X230 cannot compete with modern laptops, nor should it need to. What it offers is honesty, predictability, and reliability. Running CachyOS on this machine feels like a gesture of respect. Respect for the engineers who built this laptop, and respect for the idea that technology needn't be replaced every 2 years. Let us discuss performance objectively. The X230 is equipped with an Ivy Bridge processor. For its age, its energy efficiency is commendable, though not without its flaws. CachyOS features an optimized kernel tuned for responsiveness. In practical use, this translates not to higher benchmark scores, but to a smoother interactive experience. Windows open swiftly, menus respond promptly, and the system operates fluidly. For the X230, this matters more than raw speed. What you need is a system that never gets in the way of your work. So, what is the experience like using a ThinkPad X230 running CachyOS for everyday tasks? Web browsing is perfectly adequate, provided you manage your usage scenarios sensibly. The writing experience is excellent. Terminal operations feel fluid and natural. SSH sessions, coding, lightweight scripting. This machine still performs admirably. Battery life isn't spectacular, but it's realistic. Several hours of focused work is perfectly sufficient. After all, this isn't a media consumption machine. It's a thinking machine. There's a reason people still talk about machines like the X230. They weren't designed to be replaced quickly. Linux fits this philosophy perfectly. It extends hardware lifespans and prioritizes practicality over novelty. Running CachyOS on a ThinkPad X230 isn't about chasing trends, it's about choosing not to. For if there's one thing older ThinkPads taught us, quiet isn't a problem. Idle time isn't wasted time. Gazing at this ThinkPad X230 on my desk, running KDE Plasma with CachyOS, I feel not the usual tech excitement, but a sense of calm. A calm modern technology seldom affords us. Let me rephrase that. Modern devices are designed to demand your attention. Notifications, updates, constant reminders. But this machine won't do that. It will wait quietly. And Linux allows it to do so. I've said it many times on this channel, but it bears repeating here. Linux isn't merely an operating system. It's a philosophy of ownership. You decide when to update, which programs to run, and how the machine operates. This is why machines like the ThinkPad X230 remain significant. Not for their speed, nor their aesthetics, but for their honesty and reliability. Let me repeat that word one last time. Honesty. An honest machine. An honest operating system. An honest relationship with technology. Have you installed Linux on a ThinkPad X230 laptop? Have you installed CachyOS on an old laptop? Which old machine have you revived using Linux? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the show notes. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.